Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio today with Scott Spreitzer and Ralph Michaels, and this is Video Best Bets. This is the one you wait for each week, and guys, we got three of them, so we're going to jump right into it. We'll start with you, Ralph. You're going to the NFL this week, week 17 for the NFL. You're looking at the New York Giant-Washington game. Washington has an outside shot of making the playoffs. What are you looking at here?
You know, the total, very low. It's 44. The reason it's low, the Giants, solid defense, an offense that just scores enough to win games. I look at it this way. Washington has gone over the total 17 of the last 20 games. Remarkable. You've got the number 3 offense, you got the number 29 defense, and you have Kirk Cousins moving the ball well. On the flip side, although the Giants are in the playoffs, after scoring 15 points per game their last 4 games, not topping 20 in the last month, I think they want to get their offense going, leave them on the field, raise the tempo. You can't go into the playoffs without having top 20 points in your last 4 games and be positive about that. So I'm going to go Washington and the Giants over the total.
All right, Ralph, do you have anything big going this week at Wager Talk?
You know what? If you're watching this video on Wednesday night or Thursday, my bowl game of the year is up and available now. That's going to go Thursday afternoon, and then a great weekend of following for the championship games and New Year's Day.
All right, good stuff. Scott, let's head over to you. You're looking at a game in the NFL as well. What are you looking at?
Well, I'm going to take the points here with the New Orleans Saints getting 6.5 against the Atlanta Falcons, 6.5 at the time of our video. But back in New Orleans in this one, the Falcons can clinch that first round bye with the win, having won the NFC South, obviously. But I think they're a little overvalued here. Drew Brees takes a backseat to nobody still at this particular age. He's thrown for more touchdown passes than has Matty Ice. He's got more passing yardage than anybody else. Saints are 7-8 straight up on the season. I love to find these teams late in the year. 7-8 straight up on the season, but 6 of their 8 losses were decided by 6 points or less. I mean, that's how close they are to being about 11-4 right now and looking like the team we're talking about as being the lead dog of these two squads. 4 of their losses this year have been by a grand total of just 9 points, and we saw them pile up 79 points in the last 2 games, wins over Arizona and Tampa Bay. You got the Falcons who are 4-3. That's it, 4-3 straight up at home this year. 3 of those 4 wins came against Carolina, Arizona, and San Francisco. Obviously not a murderer's slate of opponents. Atlanta did win that first meeting 45-32, but if you watched that particular game, you saw that New Orleans outgained the Falcons in that contest, in that loss, and you had a 90-yard pick 6 by Atlanta in the contest where the Saints were marching in to get within 1 score. And then you also had a muffed punt around their own 10-yard line by the Saints. It ended up in a 3-play, 11-yard touchdown drive by the Atlanta Falcons. So that final score of 45-32, a bit misleading. I think this is a real close game. I think it's decided by a field goal. I like the points with New Orleans.
Good stuff.
You know, Scott, we talk about in college football a lot, bowl teams, 6-6 going into the bowl and wanting to finish with a losing record. I know that Saints is a prideful team.
Sure. Being
7-8 and finishing 8-8 and 7-9,
right.
Huge difference, and I think
Absolutely.
Another edge for your team.
You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because I used to work with Jack Snow, who used to play obviously with the Rams. We did a TV show together for a few years, and we used to ask him questions like that. You know, what does that mean when you're 7-8 going to that final game? Because you better believe it's motivation. And there's a guy who was, a 10 or 15-year pro who was telling us that. So I think it's a great point that you just made, that New Orleans, they want to be 8-8, and they would like to, be a little bit of a spoiler of the Atlanta Falcons who are going for that bye week. So it's a situation that gives them a little more motivation.
I'm a motivational guy, situational handicapper, and that's something I always look at the last game of the season. In any sport, anytime if somebody's 1 game under 500, you know they don't want to go into the off season with that loser's tag.
Especially an organization like New Orleans with Brees and Peyton.
Well.
You know.
Yeah, success in the past. Scott, you've been running really well in the bowls. Here you got something big coming this week.
Yeah, Friday. Grab his on Thursday, 6% play of the bowls. Grab mine on Friday, 6% play of the bowls. We are 83% right now in the college football bowls at WagerTalk.com. It's been a tremendous bowl season. Dogs have been going crazy. We've got a play on Friday that's actually our first 6% bowl play that we've ever had at WagerTalk.com. We're 75% lifetime with our 6% plays overall at WagerTalk.com. And again, red hot right now as we head into Wednesday night's card. 83% winners in the bowls. Big 6% play on Friday. There's 4 or 5 games going on Friday. One of them happens to be the bowl game of the year. So maybe you can double up, grab Ralph's Thursday, grab mine on Friday, and let's make it a sweep.
Make it a trifecta because I'm going on
Well,
Saturday.
there you go. Well, do you have anything big going this weekend, sir?
We'll get to that in a moment. For my best bet on Sunday in the NFL, one of the things I like to do at the end of the season, in addition to a team that's one game under 500, I like to look at two teams that are out of the playoffs with nothing to play for on that final game, because I have found over the years that the teams just don't have the intensity when they come into that last week. The defenses, it takes more effort. I don't care what sport it is. It takes more effort to play defense than it does to play offense because everything is reaction. And I'm looking at the Carolina-Tampa Bay game on Sunday. Tampa Bay is one of those teams that does have something to play for. They can get over the 8-8. They can get to 9-7, which for this franchise, that would be huge with the young core that they have with the receiver and, of course, Jameis Winston. So they're going to be highly motivated. Carolina, they've mailed it in. The season's over. They put up a good effort on Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago, and I thought that would carry over last week against Atlanta. It didn't. They were a no-show. Atlanta went up and down the field on them. I think Tampa Bay's going to do the same, but I think on the same token, we're looking at a Tampa Bay team that is, horrible defensively. They are ranked 28th defensively in the league in yards allowed per play. It's 6.1 yards per play and 26th in yards allowed. I think Carolina will get their share of points as well. I'm looking for the over in this one, and because the last couple weeks with Tampa Bay hasn't been the high-scoring games that we saw earlier in the year, I think we're getting benefit on the total of 46.5. I see this thing going over 50 easily. Actually, my numbers have 53 or more, so I'm going to take the over for my best bet this week. And yes, I do have my bowl game of the year going this week. It's scheduled to go Saturday. We're going to have it up probably Friday is when I'm going to release it. I just want to double-check weather conditions and go from there, so you can check that out. I'm 100% in the bowls, but I've only had 3 plays. We've been very selective, but I'll take 3-0 anytime and rolling into the weekend with that. So check that out at Wager Talking. Guys, best way to do it, weekend all access, Thursday through Monday. You'll get all of the bowl action for the weekend. A lot of big games this week. You'll get Ralph's big play if you take him for the weekend, Scott or me. Find your favorite capper, pick up the weekend all access, $69. You'll get everything. If you want to save $10 on that package, use coupon code NEWYEAR10. That's New Year and the number 10, and you can take $10 off that package. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.com.